Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Frank and today I have thought of taking you on a journey through my inspiration, the reason as to why I am a writer today. And if I can honestly clearly remember, it was my grandma who inspired me to start writing. She died last year, and rest in peace grandma. But yeah, she was the one who inspired me to start writing. I remember one night we were sitting around the fireplace outside the house, just the normal setting for storytelling in an African home. I grew up in my grandma's homestead, so you can guess we were a lot of cousins in the same homestead. And she was telling us stories every night before we went to sleep. So I remember this one night, she was telling a story, and she said, I have gotten tired of telling you stories every day. Why don't one of you just pick a book and write these stories down so that tomorrow you may read this story to yourself? Because I'm tired of telling you stories every day, and I'm growing older. There will be no one to tell you these stories. So let one of you pick a book and start writing down these stories as I tell you. And one of my cousins called Bramwell went and got a book and a pen. When grandma started telling the story, he couldn't write me. He said he wouldn't catch up with the storytelling and he would miss a lot. So he gave me the book and the pen. And so I started writing. Every story I started writing in that book. Like every night I would write them down. And just like that, I became hooked into the world of writing. So it reached a moment I got so hooked into stories that I ventured into movies. Actually, I had friends from primary school, the ones that came from a rich family. So I would ask them to bring me posters, like movie posters, and they would bring me Jackie Chan movie posters, Bruce Lee, the likes of Chuck Norris, and I would cut the pictures from the movie posters and then sticking them in a book, or cutting the pictures from a magazine, then you stick them in a book. You will understand what I'm telling you if you grew up in a village, So I got so obsessed with the book to a point that I forgot helping my cousins with house chores. So my grandma realized that I was becoming lazy. I was just focusing on my book, and every time I'm with the book, I'm not helping others. So she took that book from me and said, I'll only give you this book if you help others. And since then, I've never seen that book again. But all I know is she put it somewhere. After she died, I tried looking for that book, couldn't find it. But she inspired me. She really inspired me to start writing. So in Form 1, I started writing my own stories. I started coming up with my own characters. I will show you the book that I used to draw my own characters and come up with ideas. So this is the book. I studied in Teremi High School from Form 1 to Form 4. I'll explain to you why I called myself Frankenstein later. But yeah. So inside this book is a bunch of characters that I invented myself. My first character to ever design when I was in high school. This was Form 1. I was so inspired. I think this, if I could just make this funny, I would say doing these things, this is the reason why I failed in high school. I could focus on studies, so my mind was blowing up with ideas and I couldn't just ignore it. I just let it go, man. This is the Asians. I'll talk about these characters as I advance in my videography. Right now I'm just showing you. This is Tungsten. I had a lot of characters with different stories, but they were all connected. This is so ridiculous, just like his name. Ridiculous. Like, how was I coming up with these creatures? The drawings you're seeing, like these ones, I did myself. Is not over. I have a lot of characters. Okay. Welcome to the creative universe, DC Comics and Next Gen Comics forever. I've always wanted to work with DC Comics. When I grew up, I used to have this friend. She was in university and I was still in standard 5. So she would bring me these comic books, the kind of Super Strikers and the Marvel and DC comic books. She would bring me and I would read those comics. See, all of these are still my characters that I created back then in high school. Surprises me most is that none of these characters have been published or have their own story complete. It's just a bunch of ideas. I throw ideas here and here. Ideas just keep coming. I can't just write a whole book. It's crazy. Back then we used to have Ting Ting bubble gums. All of these are my characters. You can see them. All of this. And each one of them, it's so funny, I still have their stories inside my head. I just haven't put their stories in a book. But I think they're over. Oh, these are my drawings. Blast, Red Cosmic. Just to be clear with something, I think being creative too much sometimes is a curse, because when I got to high school, I was so creative, whether it was poetry, writing novels, and coming up with books, ideas, drawing. It was just a lot, and I think that's one of the things that made me fail terribly in high school. If I had just focused on the 3 sciences I was doing right now, I would be an astronaut, because I had a dream of becoming either an astronaut, a robotics engineer, or an artist, writer. But you see now, I chose the latter path, the path of an author, of a creative person. I don't know where I'm going, but yeah, right now I'm not an engineer. I failed terribly. But if I had just focused, I would be an engineer right now. Crazy. I have all of these ideas. Some of them, they are not in that book. They are on my phone. So, I think I just have ideas in my head, but I haven't put them inside a book and actually try to sell that book, put it online for people to read. I don't know, but to be honest, I've tried a lot of things in my discipline. I'm an artist, a rapper, I'm a video director, and I think there's only one thing I haven't tried in my area of specialization, and that's writing. I just have a bunch of ideas in my head, but I haven't put those ideas on a book. So I think I'll write a book and try to put it out there, publish it maybe on Wattpad. Yeah, try to pitch it to different publishers and see what they can do about the book and see how it goes. Maybe, that could be my breakthrough. Right now I'm just trying everything, man. I ain't specializing about anything. I'm just trying everything, Yeah, so that was it. Hope you enjoyed my storytelling.